There is no denying that Ibrahim Traore, the 35-year-old president of Burkina Faso, is setting a new standard for African leaders through his actions. In contrast to his counterparts who often fail to fulfill their promises, Traore consistently delivers on his commitments to the people. A recent example of this was when he expressed his intention to step down from office, prompting citizens to take to the streets and demand an extension of his transitional period for another 5 years. Now recently, Ibrahim Traore has made headlines once again with his recent groundbreaking initiative. Burkina Faso has officially established a treasury deposits bank with Captain Ibrahim Traore at the helm. This significant development signifies Burkina Faso's progress towards reclaiming its monetary independence. It's important to note that Francophone countries do not have their own central banks. Despite the existence of the Central Bank of West African States, BCEAO, it operates as an extension of the Bank of France. Previously, Francophone nations were reliant on the Bank of France to hold their gold reserves due to the absence of their own central banks. However, with Burkina Faso's recent revision of its mining code, the country will now have the ability to build and maintain its own gold reserves. Anticipated to be completed by September 2024, the first gold bars produced in Burkina Faso are a testament to this development. The establishment of the Treasury Deposits Bank empowers Burkina Faso to conduct financial transactions independently, bypassing the need to go through the BCEAO and eliminating any potential interference from France. In essence, this groundbreaking development sets the stage for the eventual elimination of the CFA franc. For a better understanding of Ibrahim Traore's increasing disassociation from the Western world, I would like to expound on some significant statements he made during the recent AES summit in Niger. During the summit, Ibrahim Traore opened his speech by outlining his intended approach, dividing it into 3 distinct phases. The first phase was dedicated to explaining their perspective on the world. The second phase was focused on emphasizing the importance of continued advocacy and action. Finally, the most crucial phase aimed to present a comprehensive vision for the future. Traore highlighted the extensive outreach efforts undertaken over the past 20 months, which involved engaging with politicians, diplomats, and businessmen from around the globe. He stressed the significance of these exchanges as valuable opportunities to learn and gain insights into diverse perspectives, ultimately shaping their conclusion and vision. Traore delved into how their encounters with political figures, diplomats, and business leaders from across the world had informed their understanding of global dynamics. He emphasized the necessity of such interactions, particularly for individuals from their own countries who often lack exposure to such diverse viewpoints. By observing the behaviors and words of these global stakeholders, Traore emphasized the unique learning opportunities that arose, enabling a broader understanding of the world. Addressing the broader context, Traore touched on the broader human experience, encompassing happiness, misfortune, good, evil, and the coexistence of humans, geniuses, and animals. He underscored that while the world encompasses this rich tapestry, human actions have sought to shape it differently. Traore delineated the imperialist perspective, painting a vivid picture of their vision of the world as a triangle. At the apex rests the empire of good, symbolizing prosperity and all that is positive, as defined by them. This viewpoint bestows upon them the sole entitlement to happiness and riches, along with the authority to impose their worldview and way of life onto others. Traore highlighted the imperialist portrayal of indigenous peoples as a stark example of their worldview, labeling them as savages and positioning themselves as the rightful owners of all rights and privileges. He exposed the imperialist portrayal in popular culture, emphasizing the vilification of particular groups, Russians, South Americans, and Black individuals, as the standard antagonists. Additionally, Traore scrutinized misconceptions related to Chinese products, revealing a more advanced technological landscape in China and dispelling commonly held biases. Ibrahim Traore delivered a powerful speech in which he discussed the deep-rooted perceptions and manipulations imposed on Africa by outsiders. He highlighted the belief held by some that Africa and certain peoples of South America belong to them, as well as the idea that the riches of Africa are for their own benefit. He emphasized the need for Africans to emancipate themselves from these imposed ideologies and to understand how they are perceived by imperialists. Ibrahim Traore also pointed out how external influences have distorted cultural symbols, such as the color black, and have manipulated perceptions of mourning in African cultures. He urged people to wake up and recognize the historical context of imperialism and the manipulative tactics used to influence global events, pointing to the fabricated reasons behind wars in Iraq, Syria, Libya, and the Middle East. He also highlighted the role of imperialists in creating and perpetuating terrorism in the Sahel by exploiting divisions within African communities. Ibrahim Traore's impassioned speech served as a call to action for people to become aware of their situation and to fight for their future. In the realm of defense and security, Traore emphasized our commitment to bolstering our military forces by nearly doubling troop numbers. Active recruitment drives for both officers and non-officers are underway, and we are preparing to initiate a recruitment campaign for at least 10,000 soldiers in the coming days. The continuous reinforcement of our troops is imperative, given the persistent demand for military presence in various regions of Burkina Faso. Consequently, our focus remains on recruitment and equipping our forces. We have secured partnerships with suppliers willing to provide us with essential military equipment on favorable terms, enabling us to address our equipment needs. This support is vital, especially in light of challenges posed by certain powers that have impeded our procurement efforts due to their control over specific components and mineral exploitation interests in Burkina Faso. We are resolute in addressing this issue and redistributing exploitation permits to assert our sovereignty over our resources. This strategic approach is aligned with our unwavering commitment to combat terrorism within Burkina Faso and its potential impact on the broader European Union. Ibrahim Traore emphasized the long-standing issue of corruption, bad governance, and lack of ethics in various administrations. He explained that efforts had been made to monitor and address these problems, including the establishment of anti-corruption bodies and recent arrests based on reports of wrongdoing. He stated that a new initiative would be launched by the end of the month involving the installation of oversight bodies in all ministries to identify and address dysfunctions and corruption. Additionally, Ibrahim Traore highlighted the need to bring attention to honest workers who have been overshadowed by corrupt individuals and to prevent these individuals from manipulating and taking advantage of others. He asserted that the goal was to prevent a self-proclaimed elite from dominating the rights and privileges within the administrations. Ibrahim Traore expressed that in the realm of diplomacy, the AES has embraced a collective approach. All decisions concerning partnerships, whether African or foreign, will be made unanimously within the AES. Additionally, the AES has committed to a diplomacy of truth. There is no intention to adhere to dishonest or misleading practices and label it as diplomacy. Ibrahim emphasized that the public appearances and speeches represent only the visible part of a much larger framework, likening it to the tip of an iceberg. He highlighted that true diplomacy unfolds behind the scenes and is not akin to mere public posturing. The AES is dedicated to being forthright with its people, even in the face of potential criticism. Ibrahim acknowledged that some individuals may disapprove of such openness and may argue that a head of state should not speak in such a manner. However, he remarked that perhaps these critics have been trained in a school of governance that neither he nor his peers have encountered, and questioned why adherence to conventional diplomatic norms is necessary. The AES aims to carve out its unique model and identity. Ibrahim underscored Burkina Faso's pursuit of truth, emphasizing that the nation, by its very nature, values candor and transparency. Furthermore, he asserted the importance of admitting and rectifying mistakes, urging for forgiveness from the public when missteps occur. The AES is unequivocally committed to eschewing insincere diplomacy. When discussing the Ivorian regime in an interview, Ibrahim faced backlash from some Burkinabes. Despite the criticism, he staunchly reiterated the AIS's position, clarifying that their contention lies not with the Ivorian people, but with those in power in the Ivory Coast. Remaining resolute, Ibrahim emphasized that there exists an operations center in Abidjan aimed at destabilizing Burkina Faso.
Welcome back. So in this video, President Ibrahim Traore, on his quest to transform Burkina Faso and to take it back from the colonial masters, has commissioned a treasury deposit bank, otherwise known in other countries as the central bank, in order for Burkina Faso to have a national treasury. Now, let me give you a backstory of African countries that are or that were French colonized. Now, all these French colonies in Africa have their treasury with France. In other words, they keep a chunk of their national income or assets in France. They do not have a central bank in their country that keeps this treasury. This forms part of this new colonialism, because I don't see why an independent country cannot keep his or her own money in the country, but rather has to send a percentage of it to France to be kept on the country's behalf. This is not right, and this still constitutes colonialism. So I was very happy when I heard that the President Ibrahim Traore is building a new national treasury deposit bank, that is a central bank to help Burkina Faso keep its own treasury. And this national treasury will be backed by gold. And I think this is very great, in the sense that in this world we all peg our currencies to the US dollar, and this has been quite ironical in the sense that majority of the gold that is mined in Africa is transported from Africa to these developed worlds, and the United States backs its dollar with the gold. Yet African countries back their currency to the dollar. So this does not really make sense. You have the gold, which is very valuable. The US is backing their currency with the gold reserve, and you keep on selling the gold to them, and what they are backing their currency is what you are using to peg your currency, which is not right. So it is good that President Ibrahim Traore has opened this national treasury and is backing their new currency with gold. This is a very good initiative, and I believe this will go a very long way to helping Burkina Faso become truly independent and self-reliant. If this keeps on for a decade and beyond, I believe Burkina Faso will become a beacon of hope, a shining example to majority of African countries which are still controlled by puppet leaders. This leader has taken the bull by the horn and is dealing with all matters boot for boot, and I think this is a very good way to go. Things may not be good as at now, but as time goes on, within a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, if it keeps going on like this, I can promise you that things will change in the country of Burkina Faso, and majority of the people of Burkina Faso are going to be prosperous, whereas African countries who still keep puppet leaders are going to suffer the consequences thereof. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. What do you think about this new central bank that has been commissioned in Burkina Faso? And what do you think in general about this video? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video and also share to your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.